Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, take a look at what I have today. A small wheel that broke off from my old clothes rack. Honestly, I'm willing to bet that millions of people out there would probably just toss this thing in the trash without a second thought if they were in my shoes. But not me. I saw potential in it. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it. First, I grabbed a pair of pliers and held the metal frame firmly in place. Then, I used a cutting machine to carefully grind down the metal pin that was holding the wheel in place. Just like that, I managed to remove the wheel from the metal bracket successfully. I've already prepared a plastic pipe. It's about 15 centimeters long. Just to be sure, I use a ruler to double check the length. I used my pliers again to hold one end of the pipe firmly. Then I brought my heat gun and started heating up the plastic pipe, leaving about 3 to 4 centimeters untouched. That's the part still clamped with the pliers. I took 2 wooden planks and sandwiched the softened part of the pipe right between them. Then I pressed them together to completely flatten the pipe. Just a reminder, make sure to leave that 3 to 4 centimeters untouched. Don't flatten the entire length. After pressing for about 30 seconds, the plastic cooled down and stayed flat. And look at this. We've now got something that looks quite interesting, doesn't it? By the way, I'm curious, where are you watching this video from? And have you found subtitles in your preferred language yet? If not, just go to the settings, click on subtitles, and choose a language that works best for you. Alright, back to the project. After flattening the pipe, I took a ruler and a pen to mark 4 points down the middle of the pipe. These marks are in a straight line, and they're spaced exactly 2 centimeters apart. Next, I secured the pipe like this, so it wouldn't move around. My goal here was to drill holes at those 4 mark points. Because we already flattened the pipe, it's now very thin, which made it really easy for me to drill 4 neat little holes in no time at all. Remember this little guy? Yes, that's the same metal frame that held the wheel back at the beginning of the video. At the spot where the wheel used to be, I inserted the untouched round end of the plastic pipe. To make things a bit easier, I gently bent open the metal tabs using pliers. I didn't need to do much, just a gentle tweak, and it slid right into place. Once the pipe fit nicely, I marked its position on both sides of the pipe. This step takes a steady hand and some precision. Just a little misalignment can ruin the whole setup. After carefully marking both spots, I drilled 2 small holes through the pipe right at the marks. It only took a moment, and I ended up with 2 clean holes. There were a few plastic shavings left over, but I just blew them away. Now let's move on. I inserted the plastic pipe back into the metal frame and double-checked that the holes on the pipe lined up perfectly with the holes on the metal frame. Then I inserted a bolt through both sets of holes. On the opposite of the bolt, I added a washer and finally screwed on a self-locking nut. Using my pliers, I tightened everything down so it was nice and secure. And just like that, we're ready for the next step. I've prepared a rectangular wooden board here. It's about 20 centimeters long and 11 centimeters wide. At about 1/3 of the way down the board, I stuck a strip of double-sided tape straight across the surface. Then I trimmed off any excess. Just a reminder, make sure to use double-sided tape for this part. That's very important. I added a second strip of tape right next to the first one, side by side. Then I placed a piece of denim fabric on top of the tape. I had already cut the fabric so that it matches the size of the taped area on the wood exactly. That looks good to me. Now, on this end of the board, I marked 2 points. Since the width of the board is 11 centimeters, I marked 1 point at the 3 centimeters mark and the other at the 8 centimeters mark. After making the marks, I drilled 2 small holes at those points. Then I placed 2 small washers into the holes. Using a screwdriver, I screwed in 2 with screws, but not all the way. Make sure to leave a small gap. Now I place the device we assembled earlier onto the board and marked 4 points. These marks will guide us in securing it. After marking, I drilled 4 small holes. Then I positioned the device correctly and screwed it tightly into place. And just like that, it's fully attached. Time to move on. Now, I've got a small rectangular wooden block. On one surface, I use a ruler and pencil to draw 2 diagonal lines to find the center point. At the very center, I drilled a small hole. Then, I covered one side of the block with double-sided tape. And I did the same for the other side. Now here's a piece of sandpaper. I'm using P600 grit first. I stuck it to one side of the wooden block. On the opposite side, I stuck AP 1500 grit sandpaper. After that, I trimmed the edges to make everything nice and clean. Now it's time to attach the sharpening arm. I have a thin metal rod here, and I inserted one end into the small hole we drilled earlier in the wooden block. Then I used a combination of baking soda and super glue to lock the metal rod in place. Not many people know this, but baking soda mixed with super glue forms a super strong adhesive that's nearly impossible to break. At this point, can you guess what I've been building? That's right. It's a super handy knife sharpening tool. One I actually learned how to make from a friend of mine. Now I'm going to calibrate the angle using a mobile app to make sure everything is aligned properly. The ideal angle for sharpening a kitchen knife is somewhere between 15 and 20 degrees. Here's my trusty kitchen knife. After many uses, it's gotten really dull And I'm sure many of you can relate. Isn't it just the worst when you have to cook with a blunt knife? Let's sharpen it with our brand new homemade tool. I'll start with the P600 sandpaper. It's coarser and perfect for rough sharpening, which helps thin out the dull blade. Before sharpening, I made the sandpaper slightly wet. After sharpening one side, I flipped the knife and sharpened the other side too. Once both sides were done, I switched to the finer P1500 sandpaper. This grit is much smoother and perfect for refining the edge to make it razor sharp. After that, I gave the blade a quick polish using the denim fabric. This step helps remove any leftover water or fine dust, which can actually dull the blade slightly if left behind. Now, let's test it out on a sticky note. Wow, just look at that. My kitchen knife is super sharp now, wouldn't you agree? Have you ever sharpened your own kitchen knife before? If you got a great sharpening tip or trick, I'd love to hear about it. Please leave a comment down below and share your ideas. And there you have it. I built a simple but very effective knife sharpening device, all from a broken little wheel and a few basic materials. You can totally do this too. Here at Hack and Craft, we believe that with just a bit of creativity, anything can be transformed into a useful tool. Try making one yourself and show us your super sharp knife. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss our next creative idea. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.